Hello guys, welcome to my channel Jura Tempest Federation. This video contains spoilers from the Tensura light novel. This video is continuation video after Unexpected Experiment. So if you have not watched, please watch it, the link is in the description below. But before we proceed, please like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell for further updates. As soon as break time was over, Vesta and the others returned to work. Looks like this place is beyond my field of expertise, but it's still very fun. I'll go finish my work now. Let's go, Vesta-san. Understood, Dino-sama. And somewhere along the line, Dino put emphasis on the word work as he left with Vesta. This guy had clearly never done anything productive until he came here. He was a waste of space before, but since he'd been working hard, I would overlook his past behavior. Speaking of which, I needed to work on my own stuff as well. Hold on, Rimuru. I have something to ask of you. Ramirez, it's time to fulfill your part of the bargain. I guessed that he was going to trouble me with something, so I was trying to run away. It appeared Veldora had been waiting for the moment right after break time ended. And what is it that you need me for? Truthfully, I really didn't want to do it, but I still begrudgingly replied, nonetheless. The thing is, Mentor said he wanted an assistant. It will be a good thing if we have more people to help. That's why I also... Well, have a favor to ask? My ominous feeling came true. More hassle was headed my way. We're already understaffed right now, so who could we possibly spare to be Veldora's playmate? No, everyone is very busy. They don't have time to hang out with you. Wait a second. Rimuru, you got it all wrong. I have been helping Ramirez and guarding the labyrinth, all very important tasks. If I can have an assistant at my side and praise me from time to time, then it will have quite the therapeutic effect. That way, I won't be exhausted quickly, Veldora passionately argued. Ramirez displayed her support with vigorous nods. However, since I already heard every bit of their conversation just moments ago, I could only think, you really do stick to your end of the bargain. But since no one available came to mind, I would have to end that train of thought. No, unfortunately... Hold on. I was interrupted yet again. Veldora apparently did not want to back off. He was adamantly standing his ground. To be honest, when I was staying inside your stomach, I met someone whom I can call a friend. I hope that you can give him a body just like the ones you are preparing here, Veldora suddenly revealed. I was clueless. What kind of friend are you talking about here? Answer. The individual is deduced to be the greater spirit, Ifrit. Huh? How did Veldora befriend Ifrit? Answer. Individual Veldora intervened at the time to move Ifrit to the same isolated position during Master's predation. I see, it is exactly what Raphael-san described. When I consumed Ifrit from Shizu-san, he was moved to the space in my stomach, where Veldora had been isolated. This, however, did not affect us from taking Ifrit's data. That's why Raphael-sensei, or Great Sage at the time, did not resist the change and allowed it without notifying me. Since it wasn't an inconvenience, I only discovered this fact just now. That is to say, unbeknownst to me, Veldora befriended Ifrit. Ah, so you want me to revive Ifrit? Gahahaha. As expected from Rimuru, you understood me so quickly. Veldora-san was delighted, but on the other hand, I had mixed feelings. Ifrit and Shizu-san were totally incompatible with each other, and he was also Demon Lord Leon's subordinate. If I were to revive Ifrit, would he play nice? With this thought in mind, I couldn't just agree to his proposal so easily. So that's a no? Rimuru, I want to ask you too. Please fulfill Mentor's wish. While I deliberated, Veldora gazed at me with sad puppy eyes, whereas Ramirez pleaded for her mentor's sake. What a headache. I was quite troubled with this turn of events. To be honest, I preferred having more people to work for us, but I just didn't feel safe releasing Ifrit. Despite his modest appearance, he was still head and shoulders above any second-rate greater magician in terms of strength. Although we would win if he were to start a fuss, damage would be inevitable. He might even end up fleeing back to Leon. I wouldn't want to wake a sleeping baby. I figured it was understandable for me to think this way. However, Ifrit seemed to have pledged his loyalty to Demon Lord Leon before. Are you really sure he's willing to be your assistant after being revived? That's definitely the case. You don't have to worry about it. My sincerity has moved Ifrit. That guy really is willing to be my assistant, Veldora hurriedly reassured. Oi, seriously? For a brief second, Veldora seemed like he was talking to someone. It had to be Ifrit himself. In other words, Veldora was communicating with him in my body in some unknown fashion. Were you just talking to Ifrit? Yeah, I can do anything. Mentor is super amazing. He asked Ifrit to summon a bunch of flame salamanders for the Magi train. That's why we should plan for the future and make him one of our companions, trilled Ramirez. I see how it is. Indeed, within the labyrinth itself, Ramirez could summon spirits at will with ease. However, once the Magi train commenced operations, it would be much more reassuring if someone could actually command the salamanders. Goo, I really couldn't refuse the proposal from a profit standpoint. Moreover, Veldora personally guaranteed that he would take care of Ifrit. I suppose I will put my faith in Veldora. All right. Since you are so convinced, just make sure you take responsibility for the whole thing. All right, just leave it to me. This is great, Mentor. Veldora and Ramirez were hyped up like I was going to buy them a pet or something. Hopefully my faith in Veldora being responsible wouldn't backfire. Then let's… Right, Rimuru. Don't we still have the shell of the magic core of Charybdis? That contains the remainder of my mana, so it can adapt to my power easily. Ifrit has been submerged in my Yuki for a long time, so using that as a core would be better. According to Veldora, the compatibility would work better than an emulated soul. Answer: I agree with the views of individual Veldora. Since Raphael had agreed, I had no reason to object. Okay, then we will use this body for Ifrit to take over. I stood in front of the growth capsule that had just been repaired before our break. A skeleton originally made of magisteel, which had transformed into a unique metal called dragotite, was floating inside. Inferior beings wouldn't be able to endure the exposure to Veldora's excessive magicules. However, since Ifrit was a greater spirit, he should be able to hold his own. Oh ho, this is great. That guy will be happy as well, Veldora assured as well. I began to execute the conversion without hesitation. Report. Remains of Ifrit have been discovered. Transferring to the magic core of Charybdis. Successful. Proceeding to Phase 2, constructing soul container. Merging with the body made up of dragotite. The operation was completed in an instant. As expected from Raphael Sensei. How masterful. The next moment, after Veldora, Ramirez, and I watched the body receive Ifrit's core, its form underwent drastic changes. Muscles and blood vessels started growing on the silver-black skeleton. Skin quickly formed the final layer, and just like Veldora, it had a tanned hue. Its head was veiled with wavy long hair, whose black color gave off an impressive sheen. There were highlights of red intertwined, like a burning flame was scattered within. It had golden eyes, while its dragon-like pupils glowed a deep scarlet. Hey, no matter how you looked at it, that figure was a female, and a superb beauty as well. Oh, Ifrit, how does it feel to return to the mortal realm with a body? Commented Veldora. Ah, so this femme fatale was undeniably Ifrit. Putting aside whether spirits really possess genders, I explicitly remembered that it had a more masculine body type. How did this change happen? Veldora-sama, this is the first time I have seen you in this world. And Rimuru-sama, I am eternally grateful for you resurrecting me. Despite my confusion, Ifrit kneeled as soon as she finished speaking. I was afraid that Ifrit would rebel out of her loyalty for Leon. But it seemed that I had worried for nothing. Immense relief flooded through me. Oh, I'm glad you look well. But I want to ask you something. I wavered for a moment. Please ask away. I had so many questions. However, what I was most curious about, I recall that your previous look was more suited for combat. I mean, you looked a lot more agile moving around. And you didn't have gigantic breasts like those, right? I didn't dare say the last line out loud. I didn't have the audacity. You couldn't exactly blame me for thinking this way. Ifrit only had a few thin articles of clothing that covered her private areas. She was aiming for a super hot belly dancer outfit. Her elbows, belly, thighs were all exposed, which came off as really erotic. Are you referring to this look? Upon saying so, Ifrit suddenly sighed for some reason. I am afraid this was Veldora-sama's his will. She wanted to say, it was Veldora's fault, didn't she? Ifrit seemed a bit worn out, and I got the impression that she was wholly exasperated. Could it be that she's been suffering the whole time in my stomach? Now that I thought about it, Ifrit had been alone with Veldora for approximately 2 years with no means of escape. I was pretty sure she had a rough time. It was thanks to me that you got a body. Do remember to be grateful, Veldora reproached. Understood. Ifrit's reply sounded rather forced. That's it for today, guys. See you at the next one. For further updates, please like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to push the notification bell.